In the world of love and fate, sometimes misunderstandings cut deeper than any blade, and two souls who should belong to each other end up running in circles of pain. This is the heartbreaking yet gripping story of Gao Tu and Shen Wenling. From the very beginning, their relationship was never ordinary. Gao Tu was an Omega who had lived most of his life carefully hiding his true identity. To the world, and even to people close to him, he appeared to be a beta. His father had forced him to take suppressant pills and pheromone-blocking injections from a young age. It was painful, dangerous, and suffocating. But Gao Tu had learned to endure. No one suspected that behind this facade was an Omega struggling just to survive in a world that could consume him whole. And yet, despite the suppressants, despite the walls built around his life, fate still played its cruel trick. Gao Tu became pregnant. It shouldn't have been possible. Not after so many years of injections and medication. But the pregnancy happened during both heat and rut, when his compatibility with Shen Wenling was at its strongest. Against all odds, a new life had been created inside him. But instead of joy, Gao Tu's heart was filled with fear. Why? Because he remembered the words Shen Wenling had once spoken. If my Omega gets pregnant, I'll get rid of the baby. To Gao Tu, those words were like a death sentence. They haunted him every second. He believed with all his heart that if Wenling ever found out, he would be forced into an abortion. So when his father schemed against him, setting him up to accidentally cross paths with Shen Wenling, Gao Tu panicked. He couldn't bring himself to face him, not when the weight of those words pressed so heavily on his chest. And so he ran. But fate wasn't finished with him yet. While escaping, Gao Tu stumbled upon someone unexpected, Ma Heng. Ma Heng had known Gao Tu since childhood, quietly harboring feelings for him that he never dared to confess. To Ma Heng, Gao Tu was always someone untouchable, someone he could only watch from afar. And in his heart, he had always believed Gao Tu to be a beta. So when Gao Tu appeared in front of him, pale, weak, and pregnant, Ma Heng was completely stunned. He couldn't believe it. The boy he had secretly loved all those years was not only an Omega, but also carrying a child. Shock turned to panic as he realized Gao Tu's condition was deteriorating fast. His body was collapsing under the strain of the pregnancy, his suppressed pheromones rebelling violently. Without hesitation, Ma Heng rushed him to the nearest hospital. The doctors were horrified at what they saw. Gao Tu's state was critical. His pheromone glands were swollen and inflamed, his body rejecting years of medication abuse. His heart even stopped multiple times on the operating table. For 4 long hours, the doctors fought desperately to revive him. And somehow, miraculously, Gao Tu survived. Even more miraculous, the tiny baby inside him survived as well. But survival came at a price. The doctors had to implant a device at the back of his neck, a blocker to regulate his pheromone release. Without it, his body would collapse again. Still, even with the surgery, Gao Tu wasn't safe. An Omega's health during pregnancy depends heavily on the soothing pheromones of their alpha partner. Without that support, the risks were dangerously high. Ideally, the baby's father should have been the one by his side. But Gao Tu was too afraid of Shen Wenling. He couldn't reach out to him. So the doctors checked another option. Compatibility with Ma Heng. The results stunned everyone. Over 65%, more than enough to meet the standard. And so Ma Heng stepped in. For 2 weeks, he became Gao Tu's volunteer alpha, staying by his side, soothing him with his pheromones, giving him the stability his body so desperately needed. Slowly, Gao Tu recovered enough to leave the hospital. But his fears hadn't gone away. Barely a week after being discharged, Gao Tu's sister whispered to him. Shen Wenling was still searching. He hadn't stopped. Panic gripped him all over again. If Shen found him, if he discovered the pregnancy, everything might be over. With Ma Heng's help, Gao Tu tried to escape once more. The first time Shen Wenling came to Gao Tu's old apartment, he was only moments too late. Gao Tu had just slipped away after changing his pheromone patch. Shen could still catch a faint trace of his scent lingering in the air. Enough to confirm that Gao Tu had been there. That was all it took. Shen Wenling went completely mad. He poured tens of thousands into advertising campaigns across 3 cities. Gao Tu's face was plastered everywhere, on billboards, in newspapers, on social media. Everyone was talking. Isn't this too much just for a classmate? People gossiped. Doesn't it feel more like obsession? And perhaps it was. Because to Shen Wenling, it wasn't just about finding someone. It was about finding the one person he couldn't live without. But Gao Tu didn't see it that way. All he remembered were those cruel words about getting rid of a baby. All he knew was the suffocating weight of an alpha's suppressing pheromones and the fear of losing the life inside him. So he kept running. The truth was, they were both drowning in misunderstandings. Meanwhile, Shen Wenling was suffering in his own torment. His rut had begun, and with it came annoying, unbearable craving for his mate. Every instinct in his body screamed for Gao Tu. He missed him so much that he scrolled endlessly through their old WeChat conversations, reading and rereading every message. He even replayed an old video Gao Tu had once sent him. Just a simple clip of Gao Tu in a dressing room, holding up a shirt and asking with a gentle smile, "Does this one look good, Mr. Shen?" It was nothing special. Just a few seconds. But Shen Wenling watched it hundreds of times. Clinging to the sound of his voice, the warmth of his smile, desperation drove him further. He even called Gao Tu's father, asking if he had heard from him. The man lied easily. "No, I haven't. But thank you, Mr. Shen, for saving my life. And for the money you gave me. Trust me. If I hear anything, I'll let you know immediately. If I find him, he'll be yours." Shen Wenling's heart clenched. Deep down, he knew Gao Tu's father wasn't a good man. But he was running out of options. He was willing to grab at any thread, no matter how frayed. Still, he didn't give up. He kept spreading missing notices, kept pushing his resources to the limit. He even tried to pull Gao Tu's medical records, only to discover they had vanished after his discharge. But fate gave him one more painful clue. A doctor, pitying his desperation, revealed just enough. Yes, Gao Tu was in critical condition. But he survived. He has an alpha by his side now, very good-looking, very caring. Their compatibility isn't low either. The alpha's soothing pheromones are helping him recover. So don't worry, Mr. Shen, whether Gao Tu wants the child or not, as long as that alpha stays with him, he won't be in danger again. Those words struck Shen Wenling like a blade. What do you mean, whether he wants the child or not? What do you mean, as long as that alpha stays with him? That wasn't just Gao Tu's child. It was his child too. And Gao Tu wasn't just any Omega. He was his Omega. Why should another alpha be the one standing by his side, soothing him, protecting his baby? Fury and desperation consumed him. He began suspecting Ma Heng, believing he had smuggled Gao Tu out of the country. But when he checked the travel records, he found no trace. Neither Gao Tu nor Ma Heng had left, and Ma Heng's passport had already expired. That meant they were still here, somewhere, hidden from him. What Shen Wenling didn't know was the truth. Gao Tu's Omega father had secretly helped both him and Ma Heng escape the country. They were already gone, and so the chase continued. On one side, Shen Wenling, an alpha burning in rut, desperate, obsessed, unwilling to lose his mate or his child. On the other, Gao Tu terrified, scarred by words that were never meant to wound him so deeply, convinced that the man he loved would destroy the only piece of hope he carried. Two hearts, torn apart by fear, pride, and misunderstanding. Both suffering, both longing, both unable to bridge the gap between them. And that is where their story stood. Not with closure, not with peace, but with a storm of emotions unresolved. Love can be the most powerful force in the world. But when trust shatters, when words are misunderstood, when fear takes over, even love can become a chain that binds instead of a bridge that unites. For Gao Tu and Shen Wenling, destiny had brought them together, and fate had torn them apart. But perhaps, just perhaps, this was not the end. If this story gripped your heart the way it did mine, Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more captivating tales from the world of ABO novels. Share your thoughts in the comments.